Scott Carpenter Park is extremely centralized within the city of Boulder. It is walking distance from the Hill, 29th Street Mall, C Boulder Main Campus, and East Campus. The park is located between two main thoroughfares, 28th Street and 30th Street. This centralized location gives the park enormous potential to be a destination for Boulder residents and their visitors. Picking the location for my redesign of Scott Carpenter Park took in many factors affecting the site. The main factor was the massive amount of traffic running through my site along Boulder Creek Path and beside my site along 30th Street. Most people and bicycling traffic were staying on Boulder Creek Path and not interacting with the park or the creek on either side of them. For my redesign, I chose a site that overlaps Boulder Creek Path, has creek access, and is far away from sound pollution of 30th Street. Through my model study, I discovered three types of barriers. The first type of barriers were surface edges. These edges can be found in Boulder Creek Path, which creates a harsh surface change, making people hesitant to cross it and wander onto the grass. The second type of barriers were physical objects and landforms. These barriers can be found along the severely eroded edge of the creek that the 2013 flood washed out. This edge creates a medium-sized drop-off, completely blocking access to the creek from the park and the path. The third type of barriers were invisible, made by physical objects. These can be seen in the spaces between trees and tree lines. Due to the heavy tree vegetation down by the creek, people may think of the trees as a barrier stopping them from exploring the creek's edge, rather than an amenity that creates shade. Some issues of the existing site that I want to address with Junction Park are the lifting of barriers, creating a continuous ground plane, and establishing a healthy riparian zone. The existing creek edge condition does not allow park users to easily access Boulder Creek's water because of the eroded hillside and the harsh concrete edge of the path, forcing users back up the hill where they came from. To address these issues, Junction Parks wants to alleviate the existing path, flatten the eroded creek banks, and create a user-friendly riparian zone that gives users easy access to Boulder Creek. To give park users a satisfactory site experience, the first action the redesign of Scott Carpenter Park has to do is to level topography on and around the chosen site to create a healthy riparian zone and give room for an elevated pathway. The next action the redesign has to take is to bring path users off the main traffic axis and redirect them towards the creek and the park. This involves an intervention that brings people off the elevated pathway and either into the park or down to the creek. This intervention, also serving as a staircase, acts as an amphitheater, creating seating and educational space and a buffer between the park, path, and creek. This intervention creates a 20-foot by 20-foot grid, which gives order to the rest of the redesign. Using the grid, I have placed three 20 by 20 foot squares in the naturalized restored riparian zone. These squares are made of Kentucky bluegrass, meant to act as destinations to pull people through the riparian zone and make education, recreational, and relaxation areas by the creek. These three grass areas are located on an axis meant to pull people off the path and through the intervention. To give users guidance along the riparian zone, a gravel path is added on both axes to keep people from disturbing the fragile riparian vegetation.